ACC basketball tonight comes to you from Clemson, South Carolina. Mike Krzyzewski and the Duke Blue Devils look to pick up win number 15, fresh off a tough win at home over UVA. They'll have their hands full against Andre Young and the Clemson Tigers. A packed house expected at LittleJohn. It's ACC basketball, and it comes your way next. Watching the ACC on ESPN. ACC Sunday Night Basketball is presented by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. And from LittleJohn Arena here in Clemson, South Carolina, it's number 6 Duke taking on Clemson. Hi, everybody. John Shabba, Hubert Davis, Allison Williams will join us coming up in a bit. Well, yesterday we saw on the national scene ranked teams go on the road and take their lumps. Kansas State, North Carolina, to name a couple. And so Duke better be ready tonight.
I think that's why Duke shoot-around this morning, they were so businesslike. I mean, for 45 minutes, they went hard, 5-on-5. They covered everything, and I think Coach K was trying to send a message to his players. It's going to be very difficult to get a road win here in the ACC.
All right, we go one-on-one, a little bit similar this matchup to North Carolina FSU, offense and defense.
Well, when you look at Duke, they're one of the best offensive teams in the country. They have 5 or 6 guys that can score 20 points any given night, and then Clemson, under Coach Brad Brownell, has been terrific defensively. I love how they finish their possessions with the rebound, not allowing second chance points. That's what they have to do in order to knock off Duke tonight.
And we take a look at tonight's starting lineups for the visitors. Quinn Cook, the freshman, making his 3rd straight start. It'll be Austin Rivers, fellow freshman, Seth Curry, Ryan Kelly, and Mason Plumlee, the rest of those starters. For Brad Brownell, his lineup goes this way. Lightning quick, Andre Young. He is their top scorer. Joined in the backcourt by T.J. Sapp and Tanner Smith. Up front, a couple of good athletes, Milt Jennings and Devin Booker. Well, let's see what we'll be serving up tonight on our menu. ACC Sunday Night Basketball. We'll bring you Hubert's ACC Heartbeat. More on Coach K and Clemson guard Tanner Smith and all the great work he does. Let's check in with Allison Williams.
Hey, John, we are seeing some uncharacteristic defensive stats for Duke this year. While they played better in their last game against Virginia, Duke is second to last in the ACC in scoring defense and last in field goal percentage defense. Coach K said they are still evolving and there's room for improvement, but he also was quick to point out their tough schedule so far. However, associate head coach Chris Collins told me that a lot of times it's about pride. He said in the ACC, especially on the road, we have to play with more urgency on defense.
Well, the second half of that win against Virginia, great defense for the Blue Devils, and they'll try and continue that trend, but they played one of the toughest schedules in the nation. It'll be Plumlee and Booker to jump it up. Booker wins the tip, and it's Clemson basketball.
Well, from an offensive standpoint for Clemson, this is going to determine whether they're in the game or not. Their ability to score in the half court. They don't have a go-to guy. They're going to need a number of guys against a set deep defense to step up and get high percentage shots.
Booker working on Plumlee. Loose ball. And another loose ball. Andre Young comes up with it. So a mad scramble early on.
Clemson offensively, good pass inside to Andre Young. Good ball movement. He's the one guy that could be a difference maker on the offensive end for Clemson. Andre Young, quickness, has the ability to get the ball in the middle. Good start for Andre Young.
Foul down low as Kelly is bumped by Jennings.
Well, this is one of the things that Clemson has. Their power forward slash centers are really good passers. So Milton Jennings on the offensive end, very skilled power forward, feels comfortable out there on the perimeter and found Andre Young cutting to the basket.
Quinn Cook handling as he gives off to Rivers. Cook getting a chance to start. Now his 3rd consecutive game as Plumlee loses the handle, tipped out of bounds. And it's Clemson basketball. Mike Krzyzewski in his 32nd season, all-time winningest coach in NCAA Division I history, and those 4 national titles, 91, 92, 2001, and most recently in 2010 over Butler.
Offensively, Clemson will run a motion offense, move the ball from side to side. Late clock situations, a pick and roll. And you can see the versatility of Devin Booker and Milton Jennings.
Well, Booker, the offensive rebound, couldn't get that putback throwdown. Smith doesn't use the screen and rolls that one home. Good start for the Tigers. Mike Krzyzewski calls timeout. This place is hopping early on.
Well, Clemson has a sense of urgency early here on the offensive end. I love the move by Tanner Smith. He's a guy that can do a number of things on both ends of the floor, but you see offensively his ability to put the ball on the floor. The one thing against Tanner Smith is sometimes he's too unselfish. And he's a guy that can score from three, put the ball on the floor. And for them to be successful against Duke, particularly in the half court, he's going to have to be aggressive just like that.
Now, Brad Brownell, second season, came over from Wright State. They're 9-7. Their big win was a week ago yesterday as they beat Florida State by 20. Rivers launches. Short, Booker the rebound. Kick up ahead to Smith.
Good
look to Jennings. And all Clemson early on.
Coach K frustrated with this start for Duke. Good pass to Mason Plumlee.
The rim run right there, and a nice look from Ryan Kelly.
But Coach K not happy with the start for Duke. Already has 5 guys waiting at the scores table to come in. He's going to take out the entire starting lineup.
Sapp loses the handle momentarily with Plumlee popping out on him. The freshman looked inside. He had Booker, but off his hands, out of bounds. And here come the subs, 5 for 5.
Well, one of the things Clemson does well offensively, they're really good in transition. And Tanner Smith making a nice pass to Milton Jennings, and then Duke, nice alley-oop play from power forward to center. Mason Plumlee showing off his athleticism above the rim.
Tyler Thornton here with the basketball. He's checked in. Andre Dawkins, great shooter, couldn't get it to go. And here comes Young into the front court. Clemson getting a lot of looks in close. Jennings over Hairston.
That's where he can be very effective. You know, he's not a guy that catch the ball on a block, bang, bang, get to the rim. But 1 or 2 steps outside the lane, he has the skill level to be able to score, tremendous quickness, and be able to knock down that 10, 15-foot jump shot.
Miles Plumlee now. And a travel. Seth Curry on the bench at the moment. Looks like he might be bothered by some type of a leg injury. Young hesitation. And Booker comes away with it. Narcissus. Oh, wouldn't go down. He's fouled. Well, Del Curry, the great shooter, along with his wife Sonia, Seth's parents. Gets to go.
Well, one of the things that I've been surprised at with Duke offensively, they have a huge size advantage, particularly down low on the post. With Mason and Miles Plumlee, Ryan Kelly, their ability to score this year down low on the post. Not one time on the offensive end have they thrown the ball down low on the block. All their offensive possessions have resulted in shooting the ball from the outside. They have to get the ball into the paint, dribble penetration, or throw the ball down low to the block and utilize their size.
Clemson by 8. Banijay kicks to Thornton. Plumlee the board. Miles back to work. Nice move. Strong to the hoop.
That's where Duke should go every offensive possession. The ball needs to run through their big guys. This year is a difference. Mason and Miles Plumlee, they can give you something down low on the block. Let the big guys touch the basketball.
Offensive foul. Beg your pardon. They get it on Hairston. Clemson off to a good start, Hubert.
Really are. Offensively, good passing, finding Andre Young. Here they go in transition. Tanner Smith passing up the shot and finding Milton Jennings wide under the basket for a dunk.
So you two are going to love this place. You know, for $20, you can each choose an entree from an incredibly limited menu and share an appetizer. It's like one bite that's gone, right? We love it.
I am not sharing an appetizer.
It's 2 for $20 at Golden Corral. It's non-stop appetizers, salads, all-you-can-eat entrees, desserts, including the amazing chocolate Wonderfall. It's unlimited deliciousness. It's the ultimate 2 for $20 dinner buffet, Monday through Thursday. Golden Corral. Help yourself to happiness.
Okay, here we are in Utah, and this is Sam and his Nissan Frontier. He's about to crush Devil's Ridge. Okay, watch the rocks. Okay, he's fine. Come on. Oh. Are you getting this? What? Wow! Wow!
The mid-size Nissan Frontier with full-size capability. Innovation for doers. Innovation for all.
Emily's just starting out and on a budget, like a ramen noodle every night budget. She thought Allstate car insurance was out of her reach until she heard about the value plan. Dollar per dollar, nobody protects you like Allstate.
The Spalding Hoop Hall Classic continues at 11 a.m. tomorrow on ESPNU.
ESPNU's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Reese's, the perfect combination of chocolate and peanut butter. And in part by Golden Corral. Help yourself to happiness. Back here at Clemson. And a good start as the Tigers lead it by 6. Time now to check out Hubert's heart of the ACC. And we start with a team to watch, Boston College.
Well, I thought they were the team of the week. Boston College, 2-0 this week, beat Clemson and Virginia Tech. This is a rebuilding team. I mean, 9 freshmen, 3 transfers, 10 different starting lineups. You really have to compliment Steve Donahue doing an excellent job in the second year of Boston College. And then the player of the week, even us Dukies, a guy that's a streaky outside shooter, had a career-high 32 points against North Carolina yesterday as they beat North Carolina, number 3 in the country, by 33. Funny thing about it, prior to his career high yesterday, in 9 games, he combined for 32 points. He did that in 1 game against North Carolina yesterday.
Yeah, he was red hot.
And he was wide open.
Florida State blasting North Carolina at home. Paul gets that one. The lead is 7. Duke early on has had trouble on the offensive end. 3 turnovers and 2 field goals.
So this is an offensive group that doesn't play a lot of minutes together. But remember on the last possession, Miles Plumlee was able to get an offensive rebound, score on a post. Look for him to throw him the ball. But look at Andre Dawkins coming off a pin down play. He's one of the best outside shooters in the country.
Thornton being harassed out of bounds. It'll stay with Duke. 5 on the shot clock.
And this is what Duke can't do. It's late clock, late game situations. They don't have a go-to guy. They don't have a playmaker that can break down the defense and create a shot for himself and create a shot for his teammates.
Yeah, Rivers really the only guy. They go with the lob. Knocked away nicely by Booker.
this offensive lineup for Clemson now without Andre Young and
good look, Booker. And a kick back out. Coleman will try. And Plumlee the rebound. Well, Mike Krzyzewski was unhappy with his first team, so he brought in 5 new guys. Well, the 5 starters back to the scorers too. Hairston now, way off.
One guy Clemson has to look for offensively with this group on the floor, it has to be Devin Booker. He's the guy. So look for him to post 1 or 2 steps outside the lane. He can face up. He can shoot down that 15-footer.
Off the window and good.
And that's the guy that they have to locate. With that team out there on the floor, he's the one guy at the power forward position that can create his own shot. Good defense by Rod Hall of Clemson.
Plumlee in close and couldn't hit. And it is physical down low. Benajay and Narcissus. Well, Mike Krzyzewski bringing his starting 5 back in, looking for some answers. The Blue Devils have been frustrated early on. And remember, there were struggles against Virginia from 3, and especially from the free throw line.
Well, they struggled against Virginia because they couldn't get the ball into the middle. You know, Virginia does that pack line defense. They're not a defense that overextends getting in the passing lanes, but once you get inside that 3-point line, they're a very tough defensive team, and they did a great job contesting Duke's 3.
So again, the starters back in for Duke. 2 field goals, 7 in the first 7 minutes for Duke. Baichu, offensive rebound, and then it's ripped away by Curry. Plumlee backing down. Young tried to strip it away. And Cook able to hit. He has not shot a great percentage from 3, 28% so far this year.
Yeah, don't look at the percentages. He's not broke on the offensive end. If you leave him wide open, Quinn Cook is a guy that can knock down consistently that 3-point jump shot.
Baichu rolls it home. Wow. The 7-footer from Romania doesn't normally get a ton of time and averages just under 4 points a game.
He feels more comfortable on the offensive end, John, when he catches the ball inside the paint underneath the basket. Able to score outside the lane. Good defense by Clemson.
Coleman is fouled. Seth Curry charged with the foul, and Clemson will shoot 2. When we return, the Tigers, one of the elite defensive teams in the ACC, and they are putting the pressure on Duke, up by 8.
40 years ago, he wasn't looking for financial advice. Back then, he had something more important to do. He wasn't focused on his future, but fortunately, somebody else was. At USAA, we provide retirement planning for our military, veterans, and their families. Now more than ever, it's important to get financial advice from people who share your military values. For our free USAA retirement guide, call 877-242-USAA.
Back here in LittleJohn, and Clemson leading this one by 8. High school basketball featuring some of the best teams and top players in the country. 11 a.m. Eastern on Monday. Miller Grove, Georgia against number 4 St. Anthony's, and then Bishop Gorman from Nevada with the ESPNU 100 top-ranked player Shabazz Muhammad. It'll be number 5 DeMatha taking on Bishop Gorman. And DeMatha, of course, for the longest time coached by legendary high school coach Morgan Wooten, and there's some of the guys, including our own Adrian Branch. A great, great program. Blue Devils having a tough time tonight.
Well, they really are. From an offensive standpoint, I think they've been too perimeter, too many outside jump shots, not throwing the ball where their strength is against Clemson. Down low on the post to Mason and Miles Plumlee. See Miles Corner trying to dribble the ball outside the three-point line, take it to the rim. Clemson is too good defensively to be able to do that. And we talked over the break. It's just interesting. The reason why Clemson is winning this game is because of effort on both ends of the floor. And they didn't bring this type of effort against Boston College. It's interesting how when Duke and North Carolina come to their home floor, teams play harder on both ends of the floor. If Clemson would play this way throughout, they could win more basketball games.
Let's go over to Allison Williams.
Well, guys, it seems that from the beginning of this game, it was Clemson that brought the energy, was having fun out on the court. I've been watching Duke both on and off the court. They've been very quiet, not a lot of talking going on. The only one who's really been yelling a lot has been Miles Plumlee, trying to get something going for Duke, but the energy just has not been the same for them.
Again, Mike Krzyzewski worried about his team coming in and bringing it. So far, it's been Clemson playing good defense, and the Tigers are up by 9.
Looks very similar to yesterday, Florida State and North Carolina. Florida State, a team struggling on both ends of the floor, struggling to score, and they scored 90 versus the Tar Heels yesterday.
Kelly, little jump hook. Andre Young, their primary ball handler, and he is quick. There's Jennings, who can do it inside and outside. Milton Jennings, one of the top recruits in program history. He's got 6 early.
Both him and Devin Booker have the ability, and you see Quinn Cook. This is why he's in the starting lineup. He's an excellent defensive player, but he has the ability to be a playmaker on the offensive end. Excellent ball handler, fantastic passer, but he can get into the lane, and he does a great job, despite his size, to be able to make floaters and layups among the trees.
Aichu, offensive rebound, gets it to Young. Well, one of the things that Duke struggled with against Virginia, the defensive glass, as UVA was very good on the offensive boards. There's Kelly pushing ahead. And now gets it to Cook. They'll set it up. Well, one of the things closing in on the 10-minute mark, Duke has 1 3-point basket. Good look inside. Kelly is hammered. Nice feed from Seth Curry.
We talked about the versatility of Milton Jennings. He can score in the post, but he also feels comfortable out there on the perimeter. Terrific in a pick-and-roll situation. He can roll, he can pop, shoot the ball from 17 feet all the way out from 3. The key for Milton Jennings is consistency. You know, can he do this against Duke, but can he do this for the rest of the year? That's what they need from Milton Jennings, consistency on both ends of the floor.
Substitutions as Sapp checks back in. Hall as well as Young, Baichu, and Jennings grab a seat. Ryan Kelly, 81% free throw shooter. He's averaging over 12 a game. His first 2 years combined, he averaged about 4 a game. So he's taken that next step.
And he's done a nice job, really stepped it up, rebounding the basketball as well. He's the only pick-and-pop power forward on Duke's team. He can shoot the ball from the outside from the power forward position.
Ball to give off to Sapp, and Curry tracks it down. And they get a carry. Roger Ayers on the call. Six turnovers on Duke. Mike Krzyzewski having a little chat with Roger. Booker not able to hit the three. Kelly the board.
Look for Duke offensively to try to get Austin Rivers going. He's their quote-unquote go-to guy on the offensive end. Shoot from three, put the ball on the floor, but it's nice to have Ryan Kelly at the 4 position to be able to shoot the ball from the perimeter.
Timeout Clemson, 9:10 to go, and all of a sudden it's a 4-point game.
You see Quinn Cook do a good job drawing defenses, and that's why it's so hard to difficult to guard Ryan Kelly, because he's a big guy that can play inside and out, feels very comfortable out there on the perimeter, knocking down that perimeter jump shot.
Take a look at the ACC standings early on, and
it's all over the place.
Yeah, Duke is the only unbeaten, and then look down, Clemson at 1-1. Virginia Tech a surprise for sure, as they've gotten off to a very difficult start. NC State at 2-1, and Florida State with that big win, their lone loss to the Tigers.
I think Virginia, despite the loss against Duke, showed Mike Scott, one of the better power forwards in the country, but outstanding defensive team. One of the things Virginia needs is a consistent second scorer, and I really think Maryland is just going to continue to get better and better with Pishon Howard at the point guard position, and now they got a big guy, Alex Lynn, that can score inside and out and rebound the basketball.
Booker tried to find Jennings, and they turn it over. Yeah, it's a very different Maryland team from the one that began the year from Mark Turgeon. Under 9 to go first half. As Rivers puts it on the deck. Floater wouldn't go. Plumlee. And lays it in.
One of the fastest big guys in the country. Him and his brother, Tyler, Cody Zeller. All 4 of those guys can really run the floor, but Miles Plum is an excellent offensive rebounder and playing well in the senior season. He needs to be consistent as well. I think he could be a difference maker on both ends of the floor.
Tanner Smith from deep, and the rebound to Dawkins. Duke on a 7-0 run. Rivers going to work on the smaller Young, gives off. And now Plumlee is fouled on the floor by Devin Booker. You get the sense that Duke is getting a little more comfortable. I think the other thing, too, you come out with a lot of energy. It's difficult to sustain that level of energy for 20 full minutes of playing time.
It really is, but I thought on the offensive end over the last 4 or 5 minutes, Duke has gotten better shots. You know, they dribble penetrated with Quinn Cook, threw the ball down low on the post, and I think they've done a better job getting back defensively.
Good block there by Plumlee. Clemson leading by 2. Quinn Cook able to knock down the jumper as Duke able to come back with Milton Jennings off to a good start. And the jumper for Ryan Kelly. Tight one here in the ACC. Virginia, the Hokies and the Cavaliers. Virginia off to a great start. Seth Greenberg's team desperately needing a conference win. And it comes your way next Sunday at 6 Eastern. And the rest of our schedule, the following week, number 3, North Carolina at home against Georgia Tech. We'll take a look at the Blue Devils again. That'll be Super Bowl Sunday. That game will be at 3 Eastern here on ESPNU. And you look at the rest of our schedule. Duke coming up again on February 19th. And back here at LittleJohn Coliseum. And the Tigers playing pretty good defense, as they are known to do. And after a hot start, they've been a little cold. Remember losing to Boston College on Thursday, 59-57. The Tigers went without a field goal for the final 5 minutes and 52 seconds. Jennings jump stop, offensive foul. Good work by Kelly.
The help side defense by Ryan Kelly. Saw Milton Jennings put the ball on the floor, did an excellent job establishing position outside the semicircle in the lane and taking the charge.
Jennings will sit with 2 fouls.
Now Clemson is the team that doesn't have major depth in the front court. Milton Jennings, 2 fouls, goes to the bench, and Clemson becomes even smaller. Great opportunity for Duke offensively to throw the ball down low in the paint.
Dawkins. Kelly tips. Rivers ends up with it.
Good hustle.
Oh, my goodness. Smith eventually with it. Smith to the rim. And they're going to count the goal. They're going to say goaltending. And it was Dawkins there. Clemson picks up the 2. That was close. Cook. And Duke is cold from the outside early on.
That's the only shot that's going to be available to them. They've got to dribble, penetrate, get the ball down low on the post. Clemson does a great job guarding the paint defensively.
Duke 1 for 6 from the 3-point line. Brad Brownell in his 2nd season in Clemson. He continued the Tigers' streak of reaching the NCAA tournament last year. They beat UAB, lost to West Virginia. 4 straight NCAA tournaments for the Tigers. Air ball, Plumlee rebounds.
The pass
kicked up ahead. Wow! And the throwdown, Andre Dawkins.
Known as a perimeter jump shooter. You can see his type of athleticism. This is why I would like to see him put the ball on the floor more. He has the skill to be able to get to the rim, not just a standstill jump shooter. He can put the ball on the floor, and he needs to do that more often.
Out of bounds.
Good job getting a rebound, block shot, good outlet pass. You can see Seth Curry throw that ball ahead, much like Kendall Marshall, and finding Andre Dawkins in transition. You can see their center, Mason Plumlee, was out on the break as well.
You know, you think of Seth Curry as a shooter. He actually leads this team in assists.
Well, he started off the year at point guard, and he's a capable point guard. He can handle the ball, distribute. I think he's better off the ball and allows him to move off of screens, and then nice pass down low to Mason Plumlee, who I think in this game can be dominant down low on the block. The thing I like about this was a terrific angle by Tyler Thornton. Took 1, 2 extra dribbles, get the right angle, proper pass, the bounce pass down low to the post player on the block. Good feel, and allowed him to get to the rim and get to the free throw line. And guess what? He knocked down his free throws at 39% free throw shooting.
Plumlee gives Duke its first lead of the night. Young, the runner, won't go. Smith, good hustle. Well, we talked about Plumlee struggling from the line. What do you see here, Hubert Davis?
Well, I mean, we talked about that he's been struggling from the free throw line, and you struggle if you consistently miss free throws. You're missing it for 4 reasons. One, either not practice enough, or either the mechanic, concentration, or confidence. I think it's really confidence. I didn't think I saw anything from a mechanical standpoint why he's missing and not being effective from the free throw line.
Fans wanted to travel. 3 from Thornton is no good, and the Blue Devils 1 for 7 from beyond the arc.
I think for Mason Plumlee at the free throw line, he just has to see and experience success. Then he'll be able to gain confidence. He gets to the free throw line the most for Duke. He's going to have to do a better job percentage-wise knocking down that free throw.
And Curry buries it. 41% from 3. And Duke on a 15-2 run. Timeout Clemson. All right, so what's changed in this game?
I think Duke has stepped it up defensively, gotten the rebound, been able to get out in transition, have gotten better shots, dribble penetration, throw the ball down low on the post. That's pretty good defense on Seth Curry. He is one of the best, I think the best versatile shooter in the country. He is a great shooter off the catch and shoot, and he is a great shooter off the bounce. And in transition, that's an easy shot for him.
Kelly, Curry, and Rivers, 3 guys you'll see take a lot of them. Thornton, when he's on the court, will shoot it, but the other guy as well, of course, to keep in mind is Andre Dawkins, who can really knock it down. So they have, you know, what you'd say is 4 capable three-point shooters, and they're one of the top 10 in NCAA three-point percentage. They come into the game at 41% as a team.
And also offensively, they do a good job of getting to the free throw line. They're number 1 in the ACC, getting to the line 28 times a game. So, and then box out there, Brian Narcisse getting an offensive rebound put back.
Goodness. 2-point game that brought the crowd to life. Dawkins able to answer off the feed from Thornton.
What else that has allowed Duke to get back into the basketball game is Clemson is struggling to score in the half court. We talked about that at the beginning of the game. The last 11 possessions, they have 0 points going up against a set Duke defense.
We have official timeout.
Well, you can see Seth Curry throw the ball ahead to Andre Dawkins in transition. But he says, I want to shoot a little bit myself. Let me hit the step back 3 right in your face.
Like so many great pioneers before me, guided only by a dream, I'm embarking on a journey of empathy.
Krzyzewski's message, you know, he benched them all, brought them back in. They came with a lot of energy and emotion, and their frontline guys, 6 for 7 from the field.
We'll break this down more at halftime. Also, Maryland, Georgia Tech highlights in a huge top 10 game in the Big Ten, guys.
All right, guys, look forward to that. Our game here, 5 points, and Duke cold early, but things have gotten in sync at the offensive end.
Well, I think they've gotten better shots. I mean, you have Seth Curry in transition, being able to shoot from 3. But I also thought they threw the ball down low on the post, drew defenders. Mason Plumlee is a good passer, threw the ball back out for Quinn Cook, who percentage-wise doesn't look like a good three-point shooter, but he can consistently knock down that perimeter jump shot. And then I think Clemson has helped them throughout the year and for the rest of the year. They're going to struggle in the half court. They don't have a go-to guy. They don't have a dude on the offensive end that late clock, late game situations create his own shot and also create shots for his teammates. And Clemson offensively is struggling against a set Duke defense, trying to find ways to score.
Curry short, Thornton the rebound, a 3.
Good box out by T.J. Sapp.
Booker able to pull that one down. 5-point game. Narcisse. Thornton ahead to Plumlee, who couldn't foul. Booker tosses it up and puts it in. into the front court. Tigers have gotten a lot of close-in looks at the basket, and they get Plumlee for knocking down Baichu. Monday night, ESPNU has more college basketball as Notre Dame takes on Rutgers at 9 Eastern, home court of college hoops on ESPNU, ESPN3, and also streaming live. Watch ESPN.com. Rutgers has had some good wins so far. Even UConn, Florida as well.
A couple surprises in the Big East. Seton Hall playing well. They lost to South Florida earlier this week, and now they're finding Baichu down low on the post. Okay, Baichu.
Catalin Baichu with the basket. They call him Bobo. And the big guy +1.
Well, when he catches the ball down low in the paint, he's an effective scorer. He can score with his right, left-hand jump hook. For what he has shown in this game, really a lot of improvement when he catches the ball outside the paint to be able to put the ball on the floor, bang, bang, and be able to put the ball to the rim. He is huge. If they can, he only averages 8.8 minutes a game. If he can give them 10 to 15 minutes a game, he's the one guy on Clemson's team that has length and size. He could be terrific for them defensively and on the offensive end, and allows Devin Booker and Milton Jennings to play their natural positions at the power forward.
He's put on about 40 pounds, arrived on campus at about 215 pounds. Dawkins buries a three. And Brad Brownell did tell us that with Duke's size, Baichu would probably play a little more than normal.
Played well last week against Florida State. Did an excellent job on both ends of the floor. And look how active he is on the offensive boards.
Under 2 to go first half. And it's been a tight one here in LittleJohn. Clemson got off to a fast start. Duke has answered. Kelly. Jennings did a good job, or I should say Booker did a good job contesting that. Smith. And they'll get Baichu with the foul. And that'll be the 17th foul on Clemson. So it'll be 1-1.
See Clemson get out in transition. I like how aggressive Tanner Smith is, and Baichu tried to get an offensive rebound. I like that play. That was hustle. Does put Duke at the free throw line, but I like the way that Baichu is playing down low on the post for Clemson on both ends of the floor.
Dawkins able to rattle home the front end. He's 73% from the line. Andre Dawkins actually mentioned how good a three-point shooter he is. He started their first 8 games, and a guy capable of giving them help, whether it's as a starter or off the bench. Good crowd sellout here at LittleJohn. And a 6-point game with under 90 seconds to go here in the first half. And we've seen it this weekend. Road teams beware. North Carolina found it out yesterday in Tallahassee.
And the guy that has to step up for them offensively is Andre Young. He's quick. He gets the ball into the middle. He takes care of the basketball.
And a travel call. Turnover on Clemson. And that's number 7.
Andre Young likes to play. He's more comfortable off the ball, but for Clemson to have a chance, he's going to have to be aggressive. To think attack every time he touches the basketball. Good play for Clemson here in the first half, and also in the second half. Pick and roll action with Devin Booker or Milton Jennings. Both of those guys are versatile. They can roll to the basket and they can pop it. Andre Young had Ryan Kelly on him. You have to take advantage of that and get the ball into the lane.
Inside, Booker gets it to go.
Duke was switching all ball screens and pick and rolls. You have to make them pay. You got a power forward, center on you, dribble drive, get to the rim.
Curry going to work. Kelly hangs, can't hit. And that is the way the first half will end. Duke leading by 4. Andre Dawkins, 10 points off the bench. And Clemson getting a lot of looks inside. For more on the Tigers, Allison Williams standing by with Brad Brownell.
Thank you very much, Coach Brownell. You guys came out.
You're watching the ACC on ESPN. ACC Sunday Night Basketball is presented by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups here at the half. Number 6 Duke leading Clemson 32-28. John Schaube, Hubert Davis with you. And when you look at the first half, Clemson really fed off the crowd and got a hot start.
I thought they were terrific defensively, and that allowed them to be efficient on the offensive end. They were able to get into a fast breaking and half-court situation, dribble drive penetration, found their big guys underneath the basket. But Clemson actually is really good in transition. You can see them throw the ball to Milton Jennings underneath the basket, and then Coliseum by Chuse being able to score down low on the post. And in the latter part of the first half, Duke got it going offensively. Quinn Cook shoot the ball from 3. Finally, Duke threw the ball down low on the post to Mason Miles Plumlee for the right-hand jump hook. And that got them back into the game. And then Andre Dawkins coming off the bench, double-figure points, 10 points off the bench, couple 3-point jump shots. And interesting, he starts the second half, and Austin Rivers starts the second half on the bench.
Yeah, the Plumlee brothers both start the second half, and as you mentioned, Dawkins out there too. Quinn Cook handling. Oh, reverse layup, nicely done.
He's the one guy that has the potential to be that playmaker that Duke really needs. He's only averaging about 12 minutes a game, but over the last 5 games, because he's been in the rotation, his minutes have gone up. Really like his dribble drive ability, good passer, finishing inside the lane. I think Duke has found their point guard for the rest of the year.
Jennings buries a 3. Milton Jennings with 9. Hasn't shot it at a good percentage so far this year, but he's got a nice touch. Curry takes a tumble. And Dawkins gets bumped by Smith. The fadeaway wouldn't go. Smith. It has been physical early on to start the second half. Duke by 3.
On both of those possessions, Duke with Andre Dawkins and then Tanner Smith of Clemson. What a great opportunity. Pump fake, put the ball on the floor. And this is the difference this year as opposed to last year. They can throw the ball down low to Mason Plumlee. Good post move, up and under, score down low on the block.
Who's the freshman from Fort Lauderdale, TJ Sapp, and an offensive foul. For more on Duke, we check in with Allison.
I talked to associate head coach Chris Collins at the half, and he said the reason Clemson got off to such a strong start was because they played with more intensity and they won the battle on the boards. At one point, Clemson was out rebounding them 9-2 with about 12 minutes left. He said they started to play better when they played better defensively, especially in the paint. He said Clemson got too many points from their big men and their guards penetrating. They need to stop that. They need to win the rebounding battle. Then they can kick it out and get the transition going and get their offense run.
Quinn Cook, another 3. He's off to a good start here in the second half. The drive to the rim, and now the triple. And Cook had a 3-pointer in the first half.
And understands, John, when to pass and shoot. Pick and roll situation. Andre Young went underneath the pick and roll, and we've said on a number of occasions, Quinn Cook can shoot the ball from 3 as well as Milton Jennings for Clemson.
Duke, biggest lead of the night at 8. And Curry gets fouled on the floor.
Well, you can see Duke, this is their favorite play, high pick and roll. And one of the things they like to do is run their pick and roll a little bit off center. See Seth Curry come off that. And actually, Clemson defensively is bluing the pick and roll, which means it's sending it towards the sideline. In that situation, Seth Curry has to attack that big guy, get the ball into the lane. He's got a number of shooters on the perimeter that can shoot from three.
Curry.
Wow.
Oh, well done. Seth getting to the rim. And 5 points for the junior. Timeout Clemson, 10-point lead for the Blue Devils. Brad Brownell fired up. Clemson down here in the second half.
Can't get enough. Can't get enough.
LittleJohn and Clemson led by their second-year head coach Brad Brownell. First head coaching job at North Carolina Wilmington, then moved on to Wright State. And here he is taking over for Oliver Purnell. At UNCW, before he got the head job, he was an assistant for Jerry Wainwright, and coincidentally enough, that's who Oliver Purnell replaced at DePaul. And man, the ACC with a lot of first and second year head coaches.
Well, you can see the transition, 8 new coaches over the last 3 years, but Coach Brad Brownell is an outstanding coach. Been to the NCAA tournament with 3 programs, UNC Wilmington, Wright State, and then Clemson last year, and he took a team that wasn't overloaded with talent, won 22 games, 9 games in the ACC, and won the first game for Clemson in the NCAA tournament for the first time since 1997 when they beat UAB in the first round, or whatever you want to call it, the first 4 of the NCAA tournament. They should have beaten West Virginia, but they had to play on Tuesday night in Dayton, then they had to play West Virginia and Florida at noon.
Yeah, Thursday.
On Thursday. Ran out of gas in the second half.
But Brad Brownell was not shy about saying that one got under his skin a little bit. Didn't exactly give him the best chance.
But even though a lot of transition in terms of coaches, I really believe good shot by Devin Booker that the ACC, in terms of their foundation, is at a great spot. All of those coaches are fantastic. And Jeff Besdelic will get Wake Forest back. Steve Donahue, BC, Boston College back. Brian Gregory, Georgia Tech back. Then they've got the addition of Syracuse and Pitt coming to the ACC.
Miles Plumlee, the tip. Looked like it might have been offensive interference. Smith, the jumper. Offensive rebound. Feed in Jennings. Lots of hustle underneath from Clemson. Eventually, it's Miles Plumlee. Dawkins a 3. Wow. That is a big swing from the tip in by Plumlee to the other end. Point blank looks for Clemson. And Duke a 3. Jennings. Oh, left hand. Nice touch.
Move by Milton Jennings, but what is going to allow Clemson to get back in this game? Get after it defensively. Have to know personnel. Andre Dawkins, great three-point catch shooter. Make him put the ball on the floor. Make a play to the rim.
Out of bounds. It'll be Clemson basketball when we come back.
And in transition, Duke knows where their shooters are, and great recognition by the freshman point guard Quinn Cook, finding Andre Dawkins wide open for 3.
Looks like our work is done here. I'm heading home. Need some help, Graham? Oh, thank you. These things are heavy.
Built for work and everything you work for.
Hey, honey, glad you're home.
Chevy Silverado,
our most powerful HD yet. From fathers to sons, Chevy runs deep.
Papa John's, NFL, the Super Bowl, there's no...
ESPNU with a full day of high school basketball featuring some of the top teams and top players. 11 Eastern, it's Miller Grove taking on number 4 St. Anthony. Of course, coached by Bob Hurley Sr. Then 1 Eastern, the number 1 ranked player in the ESPNU 100, Shabazz Muhammad leads number 24 Bishop Gorman against number 5 DeMatha. Andre Dawkins having a great game and second half.
Well, you have to find him in transition. He's one of the best catch-and-shoot jump shooters in the country. You can see a little pump fake, one dribble pull-up from 3, but he can also run in transition. You can see the athleticism, being able to finish above the rim. He played great tonight. Andre Dawkins can play even better. I talked about earlier, he has the ability to put the ball on the floor, mid-range game, get to the free throw line more. If he would utilize his pump fake, put the ball on the floor, mix up his game offensively, I think he could develop into a go-to player for Duke and really improve on the defensive end. And need him to be consistent every night.
Good work on the glass as Milton Jennings gets the tip in. KJ McDaniels, the freshman from Birmingham, has checked in for the first time for the Tigers. Kelly Fields feeds to Miles Plumlee. Out of bounds, it stays with Duke. Jennings and McDaniels inside. It was Jennings that got credit with that hoop. He is 13. Or did they give it to McDaniels? They did give it to McDaniels. Smith pulls down the Kelly miss. Really has not been able to get Andre Young much in the offense. Dawkins almost came away with a steal. Smith makes him pay with a 3.
Yeah, but that was set up by Andre Young. In that pick and roll situation, he was so aggressive. He drew 2 defenders. Good pass to find Tanner Smith wide open from 3.
Plumlee comes flying in, and it ends up with McDaniels, who wisely slows it down. Clemson within 6. Smith is bumped, and he'll shoot 2.
Good ball reversal. Good job by Milton Jennings, understanding Tanner Smith wide open from 3. He's a capable 3-point shooter when he's aggressive, and then on the next possession, showing his versatility on the offensive end, being able to post up a smaller defender in Tyler Thornton, being able to create the foul and get to the free throw line.
For more on Tanner Smith, we go over to Allison Williams.
John, this is something you don't hear very often, a college student athlete having their own charity, but that's exactly what Tanner Smith has. It's called Tanner's Totes, provides goodie bags to teens and preteens who are dealing with a long-term hospital illness. And he started it when he was just 12 years old, inspired and assisted by his parents. His dad was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin lymphoma when he was just a kid, and he saw how much the little things meant to his dad, the cards and the flowers, so he wanted to spread that joy. It's all about the goodie bags with fun and excitement, he says, and that's a little bit of what he brings to the court.
Tanner Smith doing a wonderful job helping out the kids, and right there you get a look at his dad, Craig. Craig is battling graft versus host disease right now. a story about when Tanner Smith was young. You asked him 3 things that he wanted. One was to play in the NBA, one was to get a dog, and one was to help kids with cancer. And he got the dog, Ricky. Doing great, great charitable work. Duke by 8. Here's Smith.
Look at this offensive group for Clemson without Andre Young in the game.
Well, that'll help Devin Booker off the window. He's got 10.
Not a high percentage shot. But Devin Booker is capable of knocking down that 17-foot jump shot. I'd like to see him go down to the post a little bit more with athleticism, ability to get to the rim.
Dawkins loses it. Clemson basketball.
We talk about half-court execution. That's going to be the #1 key for Clemson. Can they get good shots? Can they make shots against a set Duke defense? And Devin Booker was able to create his own shot and knock it down from the perimeter.
Now, one thing that makes it challenging for Clemson, I know it's a general idea, but I believe the underdog to knock off a favorite, knocking down threes is almost always going to be a big part of it. Saw with Florida State yesterday, Clemson doesn't really have a ton of three-point shooters. Young not able to hit, and Thornton the other way. Plumlee muscling his way to the goal. Out of bounds, it stays with Duke. Our under 12 timeout. When we return, we'll talk about the greatness of Mike Krzyzewski.
I wrestle because I love it, because I love the battle. I love being a warrior and the competition involved with the sport. When you get your arm raised, you know, you're excited, obviously, but you're looking ahead already. You got to be looking ahead at your next goal, your next step, and preparing for that.
Well, Mike Krzyzewski, an amazing career that started as the head man at Army. And Hubert, you get a chance to compete against Coach K, and what an amazing career he's put together.
Well, he's fantastic. One of the things that I like about him as a coach is one, his teams always play hard. And number 2 is he's not afraid to make a change. We talk about the 3-point guard lineup this year. He's always mixing and matching, trying to find the right pieces to make his team better. And I was there when he broke the record 9:03 mark in Madison Square Garden. It was the perfect night. Madison Square Garden is the best place to watch him play a game. They had Jay Billis and Coach Bob Knight calling the game, and going up against a team at Michigan State and Tom Izzo that I think is a great example of what college basketball is all about. Will anybody break it? I think if a record can be made, it can be broken, but it's going to be very difficult. One, he's still coaching. And then number 2 is, for a coach to even come close, it's about longevity. And I think coaches, the job description is a lot different now as opposed to when we were in school. Radio and television shows, a lot of appearances, not just coaching and recruiting, and Mason Plumlee getting it done, offensive rebound, putback dunk.
Again, you know, it wasn't as if he came in and took the ACC by storm. It was a gradual process. You look at the numbers, he's actually 9 under 500 his first 3 years. Brad Brownell, his first year, well, he took Clemson to the NCAA tournament. So, again, even for a legend like Mike Krzyzewski, I mean, Brownell's off to a good start, but he's built what he's built at Duke, and it took him a little bit of time.
And that's why I think the ACC is on solid foundation. You just have to let these coaches build their programs. And Coach K, he came to Duke. Duke wasn't broke. I mean, they went to the final game, won a number of ACC championships, and for him to go 38-47 his first 3 years, it's hard to believe anybody can do that after he had 56 coaching changes from last year to this year. Good drive by Austin Rivers.
Great block, Milton Jennings. Call the other way, and he's bumped by Kelly.
Austin Rivers has really struggled offensively, but in that situation, use your left hand going left, use your left hand, but good block, and then it allows Clemson to get out in transition where, from an offensive standpoint, that's where they score their best.
Austin Rivers blocked by Jennings down at the other end. Rivers has been held scoreless in this one. Austin Rivers hasn't been held scoreless in a game the entire year. He's their leading scorer as a freshman, and he's been really quiet.
John, he's trying to find out his role. And as a freshman, he's the go-to guy. He has to score, he has to penetrate, he has to distribute, and he has to defend. And that's a lot of responsibility on a freshman. And at times he's been up and down, but he's a fantastic player, and he's going to continue to get better and better.
Kelly gets a good look at it, and no, they get an offensive foul. Mason Plumlee charged, and that's number 3. We talk about Shabazz Muhammad from Bishop Gorman out in Nevada, #1 player according to ESPN U100. He was number 3, was Austin Rivers, the Naismith High School Player of the Year out of Winter Park, Florida, leading scorer on the team, and of course the son of Celtics coach Doc Rivers.
Yeah, my wife babysat Austin Rivers. I played with Doc Rivers 2.5 years with the New York Knicks, and when we used to go on the road, my wife Leslie used to help out with Austin Rivers as a baby, and I told him to sing lullabies of going to North Carolina. He went to the state of North Carolina, but he went to Duke. Come on, Austin Rivers.
Leslie's singing the fight song to Austin Rivers.
My wife didn't get it done.
It didn't take. Rivers, and he rattles it home, his first points of the game.
Love when he puts the ball on the floor. He has an excellent floater. And talk about freshmen. He's one of the best freshmen in the country.
Well, Kelly comes in and just clobbers Rivers, who is able to hang on to the basketball. Now, would you say he's the #1 guy on Duke to get his own shot?
He is. I would definitely say that. I mean, he's the one guy in late clock, late game situation that on a consistent basis can create his own shot. The problem, not the problem, the thing that he has to get better at is when he gets into the lane, don't always think shot. Get into the lane, don't predetermine what you're going to do, and sometimes in those situations, pass the basketball and be a playmaker as well.
They got that last foul on Ryan Kelly, and that's number 2 as Rivers sits alongside Kelly. It's Duke by 10. Clemson led by as many as 9 in the first half. Jennings going to work. Milton Jennings been pretty determined inside and outside. The junior from here in South Carolina.
Milton Jennings on the line, shooting.
Both of Clemson's big guys, power forward / centers, have really played well here in this game. Milton Jennings already in double figures. Devin Booker, double-double in terms of points and rebounds. So they have showed up on both ends of the floor down low on the block.
That last foul on Mason Plumlee, he's got 4. So Kelly will check back in. Milton Jennings, as Plumlee grabs a seat. Jennings, he got into a little spat on the sideline out in Hawaii with Brad Brownell during a game against Southern Illinois, and it was heated. He was sent to the locker room, ended up getting suspended for a game. Asked Brad Brownell about that. He said, nope, everything's fine. Statistically, he's actually played better since then. And they get the travel on Quinn Cook. 13th turnover on Mike Krzyzewski's team.
One of the things that they worked on during shoot-around is how to attack that three-quarter, half-court press that at times Clemson defensively likes to run. When a team pressures you, whether it's full court, half court, three-quarter court, you want to beat that defensive pressure with the pass as opposed to with the dribble.
Feed inside. Booker slipped momentarily. Jump hook short, and Miles Clemley rips down the rebound. 10-point game, 8.5 to go, second half. And a loose ball, it's up in the hands of TJ Sack. Feed inside, and it's Booker on Plumlee. The ball fake. Nice soft touch.
They need to see that from Devin Booker every night. He can be really good, John. So athletic, so big. Can score inside and out. They need that type of effort every night.
Devin Booker, his older brother Trevor, one of the best players in program history, now with the Washington Wizards. Kelly, good hands. Trying to throw it behind the back, up ahead to Dawkins. Out of bounds, it'll be Clemson basketball when we return. Brad Brownell needs a big year and a big game from Devin Booker, the junior, playing well so far tonight, but it's Duke by 8.
Look at that. What a bite. Do the jingle! Do the jingle!
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there!
Hey, guys. I'm in my office!
State Farm agents help you get to a better state.
When do you take 5-hour energy?
When I'm on the night shift.
When they have more energy than I do.
When I don't feel like working out.
When there isn't enough of me to go around.
When I have school. And work.
Every morning. It's faster and easier than coffee.
Every afternoon, when that 2:30 feeling hits. Every day.
Every day. Every day is a 5-hour energy day.
5-hour energy. Every day.
ESPNU's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Reese's, the perfect combination of chocolate and peanut butter. ACC Sunday night basketball presented by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, and Duke leading Clemson by 8. How about more of Hubert's part of the ACC? And key matchup this week, Virginia Tech really needs a win.
Well, they really need a win. They have lost their first 2 games in ACC conference season. Always a team that's on the bubble. What can get them back on track? Beating a ranked opponent against a North Carolina team that should be coming to Blacksburg very upset after their 33-point loss to Florida State.
And now the alert matchup. Terrell Stoglin, he is the top scorer in the conference, but he'll have a tall task against FSU.
Yeah, I think that's going to be fun. Terrell Stoglin obviously leads the ACC in scoring, but as I talked earlier, Maryland is a team that's going to continue to get better with Keyshawn Howard at the point guard position. Alex Lynn now, a big guy that can score in the paint and also rebound the basketball, going up against a Florida State team that played their best game against North Carolina yesterday. How is Florida State going to play in this game? That's what's going to dictate what type of year Florida State has. It's easy when North Carolina do come to your home floor and you play your best game, but what are you going to do when others come? That's going to be fun to watch on Tuesday night, Maryland at Florida State.
Jennings spinning, and now Young. Got it.
Good D.
Out of bounds, it'll stay with Duke. Let's go over to Allison for more on Andre Young.
Well, that is a big shot for Young to hit, guys, because Coach Brownell will tell you Clemson is still looking for that go-to guy, and as we get late in the game here, they could really use Andre Young to get hot. He's the closest that they have to being a go-to guy, and he said that's something he's comfortable with. He likes taking crucial shots in those big moments. He has that confidence, and his teammates have that confidence
underneath. And again, this is a Clemson team that is at times offensively challenged. Young leads them in scoring. And both leading scorers having quiet nights. Rivers for Duke, Young for Clemson.
The difference is with Duke, Austin Rivers is struggling, but Duke has other guys to pick it up on the offensive end. You can bring in Andre Dawkins, who now has 13 points off the bench. Quinn Cook. There's a number of options on the offensive end for Duke when another guy is struggling. For Clemson, Andre Young is the guy. He has to be aggressive. He has to score. He's the only guy with this quickness, ball handling skill that breaks down a defense and get the ball in the middle. He's got to get more successful for Clemson to get back into this game.
Kelly rebounds to Tanner Smith miss. Duke got off to a cold start in the first half. Clemson was on top by 9. Blue Devils have settled down offensively, and a nice move right there by Austin Rivers. He's got 4.
Good dribble drive by the freshman Austin Rivers again. Driving left, use your left. Did a good job being able to score amongst the trees, but make it a lot easier if you use your left hand.
Joe Lindsay gets the foul on Miles Plumlee.
Rivers can score in many different ways, but here's a dribble handoff slash pick and roll, and he's using his left, but still was able to score with his right hand. But in that situation, being able to use both hands inside the lane, especially against taller defenders and shot blockers, makes you more effective when you get into the paint.
That was a heck of a move. They get Plumlee for the foul as he appeared to elbow Tanner Smith. Let's take a look at this. It's hard to see on that angle. I can't tell whether he actually got him. I couldn't tell whether there was actual contact, because there's no doubt that you'll see players flop. He may have gotten him right in the forehead when Smith went down, but I couldn't see there.
Well, let's say this. If Mason Plumlee really got him, Tanner Smith would still be on the floor. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's keep it real.
This might be the one. That is, for me, not worthy of a flagrant one.
Come on.
So again, they've changed intentional foul to the flagrant one. Not a legitimate play on the ball or the hold or push from behind. Plus the elbow above the shoulders. Flagrant 2 always results in automatic ejection, excessive contact during live ball or dead ball, and then abusive conduct or behavior. 2 shots in the ball if it's flagrant 1.
What's the penalty for a flop? Look at Miles Plumlee laughing at Tanner Smith.
Yeah, that's a flop right there. It would be, to me, very unfortunate if they called this a flagrant 1.
I think you should call a foul for flopping.
I'm with you on that one. Wow. Well, Carl Hess coming over to let us know it's a flagrant 1. So 2 shots in the ball.
I don't like this rule.
I'm with you.
I don't like it at all. Miles Plumlee got the rebound.
I think it's gone too far in a direction where you got to be allowed a little bit of space. And in that spot, it felt to me like he just tapped it.
I agree with you.
Jennings inside, and he's fouled.
You're making a simple rule more complicated.
Well, Monday night, ESPNU has more college basketball as Notre Dame takes on Rutgers, 9 Eastern. The home court of college hoops on ESPNU, ESPN3, and also streaming live. Watch ESPN.com. You know, you jokingly said you think a foul should be called against a flopper. I got a big problem with it. You know, you see it more in soccer, but the idea that a player might possibly be ejected for a play that didn't actually happen.
Exactly.
For those that want to say it's gamesmanship, I'm not in on that. Tanner Smith pushes Curry down to the deck.
I think the intentional / flagrant foul, elbow rule, the charge block call, all, in my opinion, are simple calls that have been made complicated through rules.
That last foul on Smith, his first, team foul number 6 on Clemson. 18 fouls on Duke. It's an 8-point game under 6 to go. John Shambi, Hubert Davis, Allison Williams here at LittleJohn Coliseum in Clemson, South Carolina. ACC Sunday Night Basketball with you every week here on the U. Rivers. And I think that Joe Lindsay was saying that somebody had stepped on the baseline from Clemson and making contact with the basketball, so it'll be Duke ball. Curry inbounds. Plumlee gives off. And it is tapped back out to Duke. They'll set it up. Well, they've been getting Rivers more involved here in the late stages of the second half. See what they do. Curry. Kelly couldn't get it to go. But there's Curry. Dawkins wide open.
And that's a staple for Duke. When they get an offensive rebound, most of the time, whoever gets the offensive rebound pivots and looks for wide open three-point shooters from the wing. And the one guy you don't want to leave open, especially tonight, Andre Dawkins for 3.
16 points for Dawkins.
You know, Duke is an excellent offensive rebounding team, and here Seth Curry gets into the party, and as soon as he catches the basketball, the first thing he does is look out to the perimeter, and Andre Dawkins sitting there wide open from 3, and off the bench he's been fantastic shooting the ball from the perimeter.
Well, Duke is an excellent offensive team. Part of what makes them so tough to deal with offensively, the balance, and there it is. You're talking about Rivers with 4, Curry with only 5, but Kelly, Plumlee, and Dawkins have held up their end. And when you can get scoring from all over, and specifically three-point shooting from all over, it's tough to deal with on the defensive end.
Once Quinn Cook at the point guard position, the freshman becomes more comfortable with playing more minutes, more comfortable being a playmaker, I think it's really going to open up these shooters out on the wing and give them more space to throw the ball down low on the post as well. As good as Duke is offensively, I think they can be a lot better.
Curry is doing his best chasing around Young. Booker tracks down the miss.
Good
Dawkins
D.
steps in. And they call a tech on Dawkins for hanging on the rim. This play. I think the other thing, too, on that, Am I getting too cranky in this direction?
No.
I think you got to be a little careful as far as something you may think is showmanship.
Right.
You know, there is that balancing act that sometimes even in a spot where there's not a player there, you can get yourself in a position where it gets a little dangerous.
I agree with you.
Dawkins just apologized to the official for doing that. I'm not saying that's the spot that happened, but every once in a while, you go up for that dunk and by yourself land on your tailbone.
I agree with you.
Jennings, the pass. Booker couldn't, and Jennings able to get it to go. 14 for Milt. Foul Rivers. Our under 4 timeout. Brad Brownell's got to figure out a way to chip away at a 9-point Duke lead.
It's time to reclaim your garage. The all-new Passat, the 2012 Motor Trend Car of the Year.
Pure adrenaline.
Everything you love about Geico. Now mobile. Download the new Geico app today.
EJ Manuel, football for the city. Growing up playing it, I remember playing out in my front yard in front of my house, you know, getting my school clothes dirty, playing with kids I grew up with, you know, and that's what I love most about it. It's still the same game, it hasn't changed a bit. You know, even when I was 6 years old throwing the ball, it's the same way throwing a, you know, big-time receiver here in front of 90,000 people. That's what I love about the game.
Don't forget, coming up next here on ESPNU, we're sending you to the Missouri Valley, Wichita State and Indiana State. Joe Ragland and the Shockers have won 12 of their last 13. They sit at 5-1 in league play, guys.
All right, Dari, thanks very much. Yeah, Wichita State, Indiana State. How about those alums? You know, Xavier McDaniel, you compare him to Larry Bird. Larry Bird's one of the all-time greats in the pros, but Xavier McDaniel actually led the nation in scoring and rebounding one year. Doesn't happen very often. Kurt Thomas did it. Hank Gathers did it as well, but you know, Xavier McDaniel was a stud at Wichita State. And then, of course, the Birdman. And that one following our game. We saw Wichita State. Greg Marshall's got a good club. We saw him out there in Puerto Rico.
David Cowell shooting from 3. Joe Ragland. Trey Murray's a guy that can create off the bounce. The key for them is Garrett Stutz, the big guy. The one guy on Wichita State with size. When he stays out of foul trouble, he's able to rebound, defend, score around the basket. Wichita State, Creighton, Indiana State with Jake Odom, I think he leads in the Missouri Valley Conference in assists. Also Missouri State. Looks like the Missouri Valley get multiple bids back into the NCAA tournament this year.
That is a crucial turnover right there. Let's go over to Allison.
Yeah, Coach Brownell was talking to a very focused and attentive group. The couple things that he told them, they have to be better on the ball screen. Also, he wants them to go out there and just push the ball, and don't be surprised if they start to foul early.
All right, so we'll keep an eye on that, whether they get involved in fouling. Rivers over to Curry. Obviously, if it gets in Plumlee's hands, they'll want to foul. Loose ball. It's Jennings giving off to Young. Good. Jennings off the window and good. 16 points.
Looks like he was going to give the dribble handoff to Andre Young. Good fake, and Milton Jennings and solid on the offensive end. Good pull-up for the J.
10 in the second half for Milton Jennings. They get the foul on McDaniels.
See, it looked like they were going to run a dribble handoff and caught Ryan Kelly off guard, and one dribble pull-up from your power forward. He's done a really nice job offensively, mixing it up, going inside and out, and having a nice game on the offensive end. He's the one guy you don't want to put at the free throw line for Duke. We talked about them getting to the free throw line, #1 in the ACC, 28+ times a game. It's only their 11th free throw attempt for Duke throughout the game.
Duke takes a timeout. Time now for our Reese's perfect play. Great balance for the Blue Devils. Andre Dawkins didn't start but came off the bench and was red hot. Mason Plumlee, as per usual, to work inside. And then getting some help. Seth Curry puts it on the deck. And late in this one, after a slow start, Austin Rivers gets to the rim and lays it in. Our Reese's perfect play featuring the Duke Blue Devils' offensive balance. Mike Krzyzewski 3 minutes away from victory number 15. Blue Devils 25-2. The last 27 against Clemson. Coach K, they have played a very difficult schedule. Went out to the Maui Classic, won a Classic against Kansas. Tyler Thornton hit those big shots. Shot block there, out of bounds, stays in Clemson. Taylor Smith checks back here. Smith gets it out to Jennings. Let's see where the Tigers go on offense. Young's had trouble getting a shot. That wouldn't go. And they get Rivers on that foul. His second.
Been really impressed with Devin Booker of Clemson as he goes to the free throw line, and another versatile power forward. Great athleticism. Can score inside and out. Excellent. What I like about him in terms of rebounding, he can get the hard rebounds. He's one of the guys that has to step up and play this way every night in the ACC. He'd be one of the better players in this conference if he can do that.
12 points, 12 rebounds for Devin Booker. A steal there. Smith to the rim. Booker, offensive rebound, wouldn't go.
Good screen.
Young buries it.
That was set up by a crushing screen by Milton Jennings.
Good hands, McDaniels. Rivers launches. And we got ourselves a 4-point game.
Well, he's able to put the ball on the floor, but he has really done a nice job at the top of that 1-2-2 half-court trap, and he's got a couple deflections, allowed Clemson to get into the open court and get back into this game.
Timeout, Duke. Here in LittleJohn Arena, Clemson, South Carolina. John Shelby, Hubert Davis, Allison Williams, ACC Sunday Night Basketball on ESPNU. Clemson got off to a fast start in the first half. They led by as many as 9, but Duke settled down. And now Clemson on a 9-2 run. And Hubert, one of the things we've seen from Clemson, they've been so aggressive on the glass.
Yeah, but look at this pick by Milton Jennings to free open Andre Young from the perimeter, and then KJ McDaniel inserted in the game, and he's made an impact on both ends of the floor. Put the ball on the floor, penetrate floater inside the lane, but defensively they're trapping half court, and they're putting KJ McDaniels up there. He has tremendous length and athleticism at the guard position, and it's making it hard for Duke to attack it and get to the basket.
It's ACC Sunday Night Basketball on ESPNU. We'll be with you each and every week, and a good one here. Next week we will be in Charlottesville, Virginia Tech and Virginia. Good matchup, and our schedule upcoming. We'll have number 3 North Carolina January 29th, and then Duke again on Super Bowl Sunday, February 5th. That'll be a 3 o'clock start against Jim Larinagas Miami Hurricanes. Well, you know that Clemson is going to put pressure on the basketball. Mike Krzyzewski has had the point guard, the freshman Quinn Cook, on the bench for the better part of the last 6 minutes or so. Kelly gets it to Curry.
Duke has to flash somebody in the middle of that zone, and the one person you can't leave is Andre Dawkins from the perimeter.
21 points off the bench for Dawkins. Young trying to answer. Back to a 4-point game. Coming up, Missouri Valley basketball, Wichita State and Indiana State. That's at the conclusion of our ACC contest. Shot clock at 9. Curry wide open. Oh, huge tip out. Mason Plumlee with a monster play. Now you got a foul. And they foul Dawkins. What a play by Mason Plumlee.
One of the things that Clemson does an excellent job at defensively is they close out possessions, they box out, they're able to get the rebound, and you can see Mason Plumlee keep it alive, tip the ball out, allow Duke to keep the possession, and then they put Andre Dawkins, gets fouled and goes to the free throw line.
Duke as a team at 68%. That number's a little bit misleading because the guy that gets to the line the most is Mason Plumlee, and he's at 40%. Dawkins gets the first 22 for Andre. Very gritty performance tonight by the Clemson Tigers. Dawkins can't get them both. And here comes Young. A 3 is short. Jennings goes tumbling out of bounds.
It was a good move by Coach K, getting Mason Plumlee out of the game, shooting 39% from the free throw line and putting in more ball handlers. Ryan Kelly taking out the basketball, and he's a good passer, and he also has a lot of height to be able to throw the ball in bounds without getting a turnover.
Kelly calls timeout. 11.2 to go in this one, and for Duke offensively, it's been the Andre Dawkins show.
Well, they struggled at the beginning of the game, and he came off the bench, and he was aggressive. You saw him in transition, but this is his game. Spotting up from 3, pin down plays, catch and shoot off of offensive rebounds, and for whatever reason, Clemson has left him open. He's been an up and down shooter, but he's a guy, when he gets hot from 3, he's one of the better shooters in the country.
So Clemson is going to look for a steal and then a foul.
And the one guy in this group that you would want to foul would be Austin Rivers.
68% for Austin Rivers. And they foul Dawkins. So Andre Dawkins will go to the line. Foul on Booker, number 4. 10th team foul on Clemson, so it'll be 2 shots for Dawkins. Duke coming into LittleJohn Arena, trying to pick up a road win. Every road win is a biggie. And up next, it'll be Wake Forest at home for the Blue Devils. Brad Brownell's team, after that hot start, weren't able to find consistency at the offensive end.
He has to like the way that Devin Booker and Milton Jennings have played.
Smith the bucket. Timeout Clemson.
This will be a full timeout.
Mike Krzyzewski's team try to prevent a loss on the road. And speaking of that, our weekend headlines: North Carolina goes to Tallahassee. The worst loss ever at North Carolina for Roy Williams as they get drubbed. Pitt continues to struggle. 6 straight losses for Jamie Dixon's team. Kentucky with a win on the road against Tennessee, and Indiana gets blown out by Ohio State. What about the upcoming week in the ACC and National League?
Well, I mean, it's interesting along with Kentucky. It's a team that, from a defensive standpoint, they're outstanding, but their 2 best players right now, freshmen Anthony Davis and Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. They need Terrence Jones at that power forward position to step up, not only on the offensive end, but also defensively as well. And then you're talking about the SEC as well. Vanderbilt and Alabama going to be playing in the middle of the week. Which team is going to rise to be able to challenge Kentucky in the SEC? The ACC is just going to be, you have North Carolina, clearly the best team in the conference, but they've been up and down. Duke trying to find a playmaker. Everybody else is all in a box. It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Well, Monday we have high school basketball coming your way. 11 a.m. Miller Grove and St. Anthony's. 1 Eastern. It'll be Bishop Gorman and DeMatha. Booker charged with the foul. And that. Let's see what number that is for Devin Booker. Up next here on ESPNU, Wichita State and Indiana State. That's number 5 on Devin Booker, so he's done. Allison Williams and our entire crew. I'm John Shambi. Duke wins it here at Clemson and picks up their 15th win of the season. Time now to send it out. Indiana State and Wichita State. Here's Mitch Holters.
Thank you, John Shambi. Tonight we're in the house.
President of Krzyzewski.